Apo sent me another IEM set by Tigerism. This is the Helianthus, and considering that they're, like, the last one did really well, the octaves, I'm pretty excited about these guys, and I'm a little also kind of afraid because these are sitting around the $500 mark, which is then approaching my personal, like, set that I'm using right now by Moondrop, which is the Moondrop Variations. I'm a little afraid because that might mean that if I like these more, I might just want to buy them to replace them, but are they better or worse than them? We'll find out. Let's talk about it. Alright, let's not dawdle down. Let's check what's inside the box. Oh, I'm the first one to review this one. Well, clearly it looks like we get a carrying case, which is completely plastic wrapped to, I guess, protect it. So let's just take this guy off and see what's inside. Alright, now inside this lovely box, it looks like it opens multiple ways. I got extra buttoning fastenings to, I guess you can, like, adjust the box in case you want to, or something like that, for whatever reason. But, you know, things are movable in case you want to crack this open, move this up and down. Customizable, leathery looking box. I don't know if it's real leather, but, you know, it's nice that we get these customizing options. Anyway, you get the soft bag, which contains all your ear tips of different types and sizes. You get a bag that contains your cable, and a completely separate bag that contains the IEMs, and I'm going to guess that this bag is meant to hold the IEM separately into them after taking out the earbud tips and putting them in the box or something like that. And if you're still confused about what these things are, you got this one piece of paperwork. Once again, like Tigerism's last offering, they're giving you a really nice cable. This one is extra thick, and it has the same designs with the metal being all nice and like kind of twisty, angular looking, which is kind of cool. Minus, you know, the two jack things here. Those are round, which don't match this, but whatever. My main thing is they are giving you the 4.4mm jack, which is not good if you're a normal person. But you know, this is a $500 IEM, so I understand why this has a 4.4mm jack for the audio files. But let me just check if they'll also be sending like a 3.5mm cable. Yeah, I just checked. It only comes with a 4.4mm jack because, you know, at $500 it's mostly just audiophiles who are buying this stuff. And audiophiles who game, and gamers who love audiophile stuff. You know what I mean. Alright, now here we have the IEMs themselves, which are pretty nice. They're built all out of metal, besides, you know, the faceplate, of course. And they feel pretty solid, but also very light, which I do like a lot, so they're not going to weigh down in your ears. So they'll be pretty comfortable, but we'll find out during the fit test and whatnot. Contours aren't too crazy, so, you know, nothing too insane with, like, you know, ergonomic, angly bits and whatnot. This could be good or bad. We'll see. In my last test, it was a good thing. It just fit my ear better and no weirdness, but we'll have to see in that in a bit. But yeah, build on this guy and looks pretty good. It's got that high-end kind of look to it. Nozzles here are also made of metal, and of course there are grills in this guy. Another thing worth noting is that the cable does have the protrusion style, which is kind of strange, just like on the octave, so it's going to stick out a bit because, you know, the IEMs themselves aren't the ones that have an insert. But, well, what can you do? This seems to be Tigerism's choice for now, as they are kind of new to it, but yeah, they'll figure it out eventually, I guess. Now, something that they did manage to figure out, at least for me, is the comfort, because these things feel very comfortable in the ear, much like on, like, the Tigerism octaves. And I think it does have to do with, like, the lack of, like, extra fancy, random, like, ergonomic contours. It went very simple with it, and because of that, I don't feel like extra points pressing around in my ear, despite what seems to be, like, a medium-size, like, IEM. It fits pretty well in here. I don't feel any crazy pressure points. It's just comfortable. It feels right, and it looks pretty good too. I prefer the octaves because I like that crazy yellow stuff, but you know, these have a more refined look, I'd say. Now when it comes to the sound and its gaming capabilities, it is goddamn amazing, which is honestly what I expected, because once you hit past the $300 mark, you are basically an endgame tier level, and this is at the $500 mark, and this is definitely like a very good endgame set for a lot of people, because these things do well in all genres of games. For starters, we have a very large soundstage. Mind you, it is an IEM, so the soundstage is small, but for an IEM it is very large, and in IEM world, a large soundstage is great because it never gets too big where it becomes detrimental in a more competitive gaming situation where you want that advantage of hearing things a little bit closer so you can hear it a little bit earlier, you know what I mean? And on that note, the soundstage was well utilized, giving us very good sound separation and then also very good and precise imaging, making these excellent for tracking people in games. But you know, it's not just the utilization of that, you know, the soundstage, but also the way these things are tuned, because these things come off as very forward in most of the ranges, particularly like in the mids to highs, without being overwhelming. Like, there's a degree of, like, analyticalness to the sound, but not to the point where it loses its musicality, because I did use these for music, and while it was blasting me with a lot of sounds in the range of the songs, it wasn't, like, too much for me, if that makes sense. That ability for me to, like, hear a lot going on in the song tracks also then transferred the game, so where I was able to hear a lot going on in the game, whether I was tracking for, like, people in the game, or if I was just playing a more, like, you know, non-competitive game, and I can just enjoy the environment, all the sounds sounds going around me in that world, making it a very good set for, you know, non-competitive games. It's just a very nice immersive experience out of these guys. And, you know, I guess I should dig a little bit more into like how the sound is kind of tuned. So then, like, once again, these things come off as very forward, I would say. So like if you went from neutral, everything just kind of make it more forward and give a little bit more boost to like the upper mids and highs, and a bit to like the very low deep end. Therefore you get more feel out of like the low end. The punch is just okay, but I think there's a bit more rumble, but it's pretty decent, I'd say. Not like bass head level like amounts of bass, but like a good normal people amount of bass, if that makes sense. These things are a very revealing set. It is very clean, and it does come off as a bit like more forward in like the upper ranges a bit, but not to the point where it got too spicy for me. These are very much musically detailed. They're magically delicious. Before testing the Helianthuses, I was a little afraid that they would, like, you know, dethrone my variations and make me want to like replace my variations with them, but the reality is they're quite different in their approach to sound, because the Helianthuses are far more active in terms of giving you like the sound, just pelting you with all the sound range, whereas the variations are, you know, they will do that, they'll present all the sound, but they're so much more sleepy and relaxed about it. They're very chill sets in comparison. The variations tend to lean a little bit more on the darker side while still giving you like a really good representation of the sound range. It's just not like in your face the same way the Helianthuses present sound to be. These are very in your face about the sound, but not to the point where you just want to like rip them off your ears. It is to the point where you're just like, you just want to keep listening because you're hearing things you normally wouldn't hear before because it's not so presented in your face, if that makes sense. Like, these are just a really fun, exciting set that's also very revealing, and with its like soundstage and utilization of it, it's just so good at just giving all that sound and making them great for tracking once again in games. These are excellent if you're going to be using them for like competitive kind of shooter situations, and just the way they are, it still makes them very, very good if you're playing like non-competitive stuff and you just want things to be immersive, just because of how they present the sound is just very there, pulls you in, forces you in the world. Like, if you got like $500 to spend for a set of IEMs that will be your end game, these are probably the one if you like that exciting kind of sound. If it's like too much for you, then, you know, the variations are there, unless they're going to update these guys, because that might happen down the near future. I mean, those new Dusks just came out, so there is that. But, you know, point is, if you're looking for a really exciting set that has a good degree of resolution and is very revealing and has a lot of analyticalness, these are the one. These are great. At the $500 range, I think these would be like my recommendation for most people if you're like asking for like this range of like IEM. But with that being said, that's basically all I have today. So if you want to buy these guys, I'll leave a link down in the description. And yeah, so far Tigerism's been very exciting. I'm enjoying what they've been putting out, and I can't wait to see what else they got. Yeah, that's basically what I have for today. I don't want to make this review too long. I've been trying to shorten my reviews and constantly failing, as we have seen in my past videos. There's still 10 minutes. We're trying to get below that, but I keep talking. Let's get out of here, guys. These are great. See you guys next time.